beer and the Potenski.
They tell me these style meanest waffles, maple syrup dripping from his fake roll. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he should.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. It is Tuesday. It's actually almost Wednesday, but it's Tuesday, April the 11th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me as seldomly is Mr. Matt Potenski right over there. He's over my right shoulder. You can see him left shoulder right over there. You can see him right.
Yeah, we're rocking it
There
here.
he is, right there.
We are rocking it here from the we're in the Hilton Hometown Suites, and
We're rocking it. We're rocking it from the Delta to the DMZ, as Robert Williams said in
Glen Falls, New York, ladies and gentlemen.
Glens Falls, New York. Yes, we're up here. We had a lot of stuff we had to do tonight. We did mean to start this a lot earlier, but actually, I'm gonna take these off because
Beer got in the way. I'm not gonna lie.
Beer got in the way. Beer got in the way. Food got in the way. Business got in the way.
It wasn't a bad thing. It was a good night. So.
Business got in the way, but it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
I'm still really not too about this picture here. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is either, right? This one right here. Not this guy right here.
No, but I'm just not feeling the artwork here.
The artwork is weird. So,
whatever.
But it is what
deal
it
with
is.
us. Crack a beer open and enjoy.
Exactly. So we're drinking.
Deal with you.
We're already drinking.
Yeah. You got the can. You got to grab the can. It's over there.
I will grab the can. I got to slide out of frame for a second. Excuse me.
Still not thrilled with the artwork.
There you go.
That's right.
Right here. We're actually at the brewery before, Northway Brewing Company. Right there.
Cool brewery. Big size. What, 50 barrels?
50 barrel brew house.
Yeah, impressive.
50 barrel brew house, and they have 50 barrel fermenters and 100 barrel fermenters. So,
but good beer. Good beer.
Yeah.
And this is interesting because John and I both love a Schwarzbier, a German Schwarzbier, a black lager.
Mm-hmm.
I drank Guinness for years when I was in my early stages of drinking good beer, but I like the roast and the drinkability of it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is interesting because this puts a little twist on it. It's actually a Schwarzbier with a little bit of coffee in it.
Yeah,
and I have to commend them because you could very easily put too much coffee in it and just obliterate the base style. And I think they did a really good job with putting a light amount of coffee in so that it actually accentuates and adds to the beer as opposed to just obliterating the beer. It's way better. I've had a couple adjuncted Schwarzbiers recently and wasn't super impressed with a lot of them. This is good though. This is pretty well balanced.
This is actually very good. They did a few with coffee from this actually Death Wish Coffee Company. I'm assuming it's local up this way.
Yeah.
Near the Lake George region, up this way. But paralysis, it's very good. 5.5%. Pretty tasty.
Still drinks light, has a nice depth of flavor. So
it's very nice.
Cheers to Northway.
Mm-hmm. And cheers to
the hospitality they showed us earlier.
Absolutely, very hospitable at the brewery as well. And very, very, very tasty. Very tasty. We had a bunch of good stuff there. So we came up this way. Okay. The whole deal with this is Dave, by the way, Beer Samurai is on temporary assignment out in Utah. If those of you long-time listeners will know, he went to Utah last April. So I guess this is going to become a very a frequent April thing, him going to Utah. But he was flying out today, so he wasn't able to do the show, which is what left it to us. And of course, we were coming up here today, so everything happened like this. So one thing led to another, and here we are at 11 o'clock Eastern time doing the show from the hotel room after our day's festivities. I had to come up here and look at some equipment. Obviously,
still drinking though. Still drinking beer.
We didn't stop, right?
Just for you guys.
Just for you. We would have stopped already. Probably passed out already.
I'd be asleep already if it wasn't for this. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely, that's what I. But bottom line being, we came up here because we had to go over some equipment with the manufacturer that's building our equipment for the brewery. More on that as that develops.
So in case you haven't heard, in case you were under a rock, we are opening a brewery.
Yeah.
And today we took a nice step with talking to the equipment manufacturer and ironing some stuff out to basically get our quote finalized, and it was a good meeting. So
It was a very good meeting. It was a very
we're not
good
going to
meeting.
dwell on that, but today was a good day.
And of course, we've been going through a lot. Obviously, those of you who have been paying attention, we obviously have been at this for quite some time now. This podcast has been going longer than us opening the brewery, but not that much longer than us opening the brewery. So, and we're approaching 3 years with that. So you do the math. But you know, we've obviously had beers out for almost a year now. So, but we're working on it, and we hope very soon to bring you some stuff local. So, so basically, this podcast, I should say, is about us. Last time we came up here, which was probably about a year ago, actually, we actually
13
stopped.
months, I think.
Yeah, we actually stopped on the way back. We didn't stay up this way. We actually stopped on the way back, and we actually did a podcast live from Single Cup Brewing in Clifton Park, New York, on the way back. And Samurai was on that night too. It was the three of us. So those of you, if you have seen it, you'll know. But in any event, we wanted to do it from up here. We wanted to do it a little bit earlier, but one thing led to another, and we got tied up with a lot of meetings. So we did have several tonight, honestly. All joking aside, we did have about 4 or 5 meetings today. So, but in any event, we're coming to you now. We're up here, far way upstate New York, Glens Falls, actually Queensbury to be specific. So it's probably halfway between Glens Falls and Lake George is where we are right now. So, but yeah, a lot of good beer up here. Get up here if you're anywhere near the area. If you can get up this way, come up this way. First and foremost, stop at Common Roots. Common Roots Brewing in South Glens Falls. A lot of great beer there. Beautiful tap room, beautiful brewery. You want to stop in there. And then, of course, on your way up from there, me, Max, we were there today. Northway Brewing is further up 9, just south of. Still, technically, it's Glens Falls, right? You want to call it Glens Falls or Glens Falls? It's Queensbury, right?
Yeah.
It's south of Lake George. It's just before. If you're familiar with the area, it's probably about a half a mile south of Northway Brewing Company. I'm talking about now. It's probably about a half a mile south of Six Flags Great Escape. So if you remember what the area is there.
And a little shout out to Craft 9, which is not a brewery, but is a really good beer bar, and we had some awesome dinner there. So.
Absolutely. Fantastic food. Fantastic food. Tap list is amazing to all local, really good
local beer, and I had maybe just a little tiny nip of bourbon too, but
he did. I didn't. He did.
They had some good stuff, so
he did. But yeah, so very good stuff there. So the whole area is really cool. It's beautiful up this way. Take a ride. Get away for a weekend. If you're local to the area, if you're within, say, a 4 or 5 hour drive, take a ride up here. Come up here. But anyway, yeah. So we're just sitting here back in the room, winding down after the day. And if anybody is logging on right now, I don't think anybody is. But those of you just rewatching this, of course, or listening to the audio podcast, nobody's on right now. And we figured that would be the case, right? Because it is 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're actually trying to reach out to Samurai because he should have actually landed and been available in Utah by now, but he hasn't written back yet. So, well, whatever. If he does, maybe we can get him on and see what he has to say. But in any event, we're here enjoying the beer. And this is not going to be, a hour and a half Log Room Guys podcast tonight. It's going to be a shorty. It's definitely going to be a shorty. But we had a good day today. Coastal Brewworks took a couple big steps forward today, and we're happy about that. More on that as it develops. We don't want to, we're not jinxing anything by any means, but we don't want to. We'll talk.
When it's the right time to open our mouth, we'll open our mouth.
Absolutely. So
no point opening our mouth and then having something not go exactly the way
exactly.
would.
Exactly. So
since we're in the brewery business, we know how that goes. So we're
fair
going to
enough.
nip that in the bud.
Exactly. So I'm actually going to ask Matt really quick, just a little filler here. Dave and I, Samurai and I talked about this last week on the show. I was curious what Matt's take was. Anheuser-Busch, AB InBev. Obviously, everybody knows out there. Obviously, those of you paying attention, they've been buying up craft beer brands for quite some time now, 10, 12 years, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood. And recently, they've been shutting some of them down. They've been scaling back, laying people off, and they shut down one overall. Now, I'm not sure if Matt's aware of this because actually he and I didn't speak about this, but he knows all the other parts of it. But Matt, were you aware? Platform Brewing in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Were you aware that was an AB InBev brand?
I did, and it's unfortunate, but I've been to Cleveland exactly once in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and we did not stop at Platform just because it didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have a Platform beer when I was through the town, and I've had a bunch of Platform beers throughout my life,
Mm-hmm.
and they've always been pretty solid. But,
Yeah.
It's one of those where I am less likely to order a Platform beer just because I know they're owned by
AB InBev. Well, I've been, I've had Platform beers for a while now. They were distributed in New Jersey for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and we got out there. I was probably out there about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, actually. Probably next month will be 4 years. Out in Cleveland, and spent some time at Platform. And this was obviously before the AB InBev purchase, as far as I know. Anyway. And the beers were spot on. The beers were great. Food there too. Great brewery staff, very knowledgeable, very pleasant, very hospitable, and I always thought the brand was pretty. Solid. And come to find out, obviously, the AB InBev had bought them, and now they just shut them down. They're done. Platform is done.
Yeah.
Gone. So it's a shame. It's a shame.
Well, I mean, so again, the elephant in the room is going to be Goose Island, and I hate to say it as much as again, people will have a big spectrum of like they love Goose Island or they will never have Goose Island again, but it's weird because that was one of the first purchases by AB InBev, and for some reason I think they did that right, because what they did is with Goose Island they said, oh my God, these guys are doing some cool stuff, and now it's like you're going to have a rich uncle that's going to give you the money to do all the shit that you want to do, and so they took that brewery, and even though AB InBev owns them, I still think they have a lot of ownership over their beers and how the beers. Now, obviously, they've been put a shit ton of money in, so that now it's not all right. You're not getting 50 bourbon barrels; you're getting 10,000 bourbon barrels, or God knows whatever they do, because there's Bourbon County through the whole 50
everywhere
states now,
and beyond.
But at the same time, if you look at base Bourbon County, it's still a very good bourbon barrel.
Sure.
Some of the choices for flavorings and stuff that they've made in the last few years is always, I think, is
For the variants.
The variants have been a bit questionable, but I also think they're trying to basically interpret a craft beer market where you have bourbon barrel aged stouts with several adjuncts, and now they're trying to copy that. Whereas they have their single barrel variants where they're doing, the Fitzgerald birthday bourbon or Knob Creek, 10-year, whatever that was, and some of those single barrel variants have been excellent. I mean, excellent. I mean, honestly, as good as almost any other bourbon barrel aged stouts I've had. And it's like, I would wish they would focus on that more, but I think their AB InBev has a lot of salespeople and people that sit in offices and aren't really in a brew house or anything like that. And they're like, yeah, we want to make strawberry shortcake freaking stout, bourbon barrel aged stout. And you're like, it's an interesting concept, and it's good for like maybe 3 months, and then it turns to trash, or doing all this other crazy stuff with different flavorings, and it's okay. I mean, they have the money and they can play and do that stuff, but they're not great beers. But at the same time, some of the single barrel variants from Bourbon County are beers that honestly I enjoy immensely and I think have great flavor, and I will still continue to drink year after year. But then you look at someone like yeah, the other end of the spectrum is someone like, I hate to say it, but in our general area here in New Jersey is Blue Point, which is out of Long Island. And, you know, I used to love drinking Toasted Lager. Toasted Lager was such a delicious beer. And,
So good.
and
So
you
good.
know, I hate to say it, AB InBev, you know, bought Blue Point, and whatever they did, they definitely did something to adjust the recipe or whatever they did, and that beer has never been the same to me. I don't know what they've done. It's not a bad beer, but it's just not. It is definitely not the beer it used to be.
The beer used to be when Blue Point Brewing was brewing it before AB InBev, bought
delicious.
in. It was delicious. It was a go-to beer. It was the beer. You know, it got in a lot of places. Kudos to Blue Point prior to AB InBev. They got that beer in a lot of places, and it was a very well done beer.
And I hate to say it, that may be why they were on AB's
radar. Absolutely, no, of course it was.
They had a good lager. That
Toasted Lager was the beer that got them on AB InBev's radar. Absolutely. So.
I mean, I hate to say it, as someone who wants to open a brewery, if you can make one seriously iconic beer, you're well ahead of the game.
You win.
It's tough just to do that. You know, so Blue Point had that Twisted Lager, and that was very different in the marketplace. That was also at a point where lagers weren't as prevalent. I feel like there's a lot more lagers in the marketplace, you know, now in 2023 than there were maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think there's been like a rejuvenation of lagers in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a damn good lager until AB InBev took them over. And I don't know, it's not like I'm just like, get off my grass, you kids.
Kids, get off my lawn.
I can say that I've tasted that beer. I know what that beer was supposed to taste like, and then I had it again, and I'm just like, this is not that beer. This is not. There's something missing, and that is not that beer. So they definitely, changed something, whether it was their supply chain and they were getting different malts or whatever. They changed that recipe somehow, and it just wasn't the same beer that it was when Blue Point made it, and it's a shame because I do miss that beer. That was a delicious beer, but that's the way things go. So you have Goose Island on one hand, where, and I'm not going to say that they have maybe InBev changed the recipe for their wheat beer or something, but at least Bourbon County. Sorry, New Jersey.
Wrong beer.
Similar beer, but wrong beer. Bourbon County, they at least have literally been pretty hands off, other than maybe trying to make some of these crazy variants and pushing. They want to push the envelope and make crazy shit. But it's they all of a sudden said, okay, you guys are good at making this bourbon barrel aged stout thing. What do you need? And they were like, well, we need money to buy more barrels and we'll do this and this and this. And so okay, now you have a rich uncle who's supplying you with all the stuff you wanted that you can still continue to make awesome beer.
Right.
And, again, there's the whole debate of, do you want to support AB, in some way, shape, or form? I'm not going to buy a Bud Light, and I don't give a fuck if they put a rainbow on the can or not, or any of that stuff. Which is a very prevalent thing. We won't touch that.
We're not gonna go there. But
just saying is I would say that in general I don't support AB owned beer, but the one product I will probably still, if I don't buy it, at least if someone else is at a share and pours it, I will still drink it. Is Bourbon County, because it is in general it's still a pretty quality beer. We can talk about and nitpick to certain variants from the last year or the last 3 years or whatever. That's another conversation. But I'd say the overarching trend is, in general, that is a solid, that brand of Bourbon County and all its variants is pretty solid. And still relevant, bourbon barrel aged stout. So, there's a reason why, again, and in recent years, I feel like they've upped production of certain things. It used to be almost impossible to find certain variants or certain this or certain that. Now I see it sitting on the shelf a little bit more. Is that because more people are educated and don't want to support an AB product who drink craft beer? Or is that because there's just so much other product in the marketplace and it's a little flooded now? I don't know. I
It's
don't know.
it's probably a lot of everything. You know.
I'm saying if I'm at a share and someone cracks a Bourbon County, I'm still taking a sip of it, and I'll say if it's good or not. But I'd say, especially some of the single barrel variants that
Yeah.
they've done, have all been excellent. And it's if you're into bourbon at all, and you know how different bourbons have different profiles or different flavors. I mean, I think what was it, like 3 or 4 years ago when they did the Knob Creek one? That was one of the first ones they did, and that was like I had that. That was eye opening when I had that, because you were like, wow, that is, instead of this just amorphous but tasty bourbon profile,
Mhm.
you're like, that is Knob Creek. That is a specific bourbon flavor profile, and that's impressive. So look at
Absolutely.
this guy,
Look who we got on the show with us tonight.
all the way from the U.S. of Taz.
The U of Ta.
Yeah.
U of Ta.
Mhm.
I've heard it pronounced Uda.
Uda.
The people here
What
apparently
was that?
call it Utah.
Uda or whatever.
Utah.
No,
Uda.
what was the thing in Minneapolis? Oofda.
Oofta.
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 Our
Oofta.
hotel room in Minneapolis last year at the Brewers Conference had a big thing, literally a framed picture that said UFF and then DAA with an exclamation point. Oofda.
Ufta.
There's that.
Well,
How is the Mormon State?
the Beehive State, you mean?
Yeah, that
The
one.
Polygamy State?
Close enough.
Oh, you've been here. You know.
Well,
it's
I said it's a nice one, Mormon State. You had to go there.
Beehive? Oh, the Polygamy State. Yes.
Yes.
I just want to show you guys real quick.
Please do.
I don't know if you can see.
He's like, hey, I'm going to take you out to the pitch dark. Check this out.
Yeah, you can't see anything here.
No, we can't see shit.
Where we're staying is it's actually a old railway car.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
But I
really
didn't say we don't have artwork like this, Dave.
cool. No, but
And you're
we
better
do
off.
have
I don't even know what that is, but
artwork like this.
it's not Ansel Adams, but it'll do.
Yeah.
True.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Way worse.
So yeah, we landed. We got our luggage. I gotta say, Salt Lake City is just a gorgeous airport.
Mhm.
Right. You go same level, you get your luggage. Take like a same level sky bridge.
I still have to say, I think the most beautiful airport I've been to in the world is Honolulu.
I've not had the pleasure.
Because it's weird. It's open air. Like you
Open air
literally
airport?
walk through these so it has a roof, but everything else is open. So you get off the plane and you're just walking down like a big thing, and it's Hawaii. So there's ocean on one side, there's the Green Mountain. You're just like, what the hell? This is ridiculous. But anyway.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Now this we went and got our what you call it? Went and got our rental, and then of course, what's the first thing we do?
What's that?
Get beer.
Brewery.
Of course.
What brewery did you hit?
Went to Kitos. So it's K2IS.
What language is that?
Finish.
Did you finish?
Yeah, go ahead and finish your sentence. Yes.
Did you finish?
Finish. We finished. I think I finished 3 beers.
Fair enough.
A dark lager, a Utah mild.
A Utah mild.
We're drinking a Schwarz beer with a little bit of coffee in it from the brewery
Nice.
on the road right now. So
Very nice.
Cool.
Well, we finished off with a sati.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a style you don't find every day.
Did they make it in a Kerna though, or did they just bullshit it?
Nah, I think they just made the sati. They just made the sati with the sati flavors. There's juniper in it, as you'd expect. So it's your classic sati, and it was pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Kitos, I do recommend them. Did get a little bit of the beer to bring.
Cool. You should probably crack something open. We're a couple of beers ahead of you, so you should crack something open.
Like what?
I don't know. You're the one to crack whatever you want. But
Let's see what I got here. I have
Found it.
Where are you? Yeah, there is Upstate. That was
Rooftop.
in our hotel room in Minneapolis. So I have that same picture. I just didn't go with it. How are you on your lager there, Holmes? Are we ready for the main event?
I don't know if I'm ready for that main event, to be honest with you.
You wanna?
Are you?
I'm opening it. You better be ready for that main event. It's happening. Because I want to explore a shout out too on the podcast. So
That's true. That's true. We should do
But
that.
what are you drinking?
glad you asked. I will be right back, Dave.
Okay. So should I go?
Oh,
with
never.
barley?
Yeah. I thought you were going to do.
Should I go with a barley
So-
wine, a wheat wine, or a
This-
barrel aged barley wine?
It's called Year 2 Anniversary Ale from our friends at Ross Brewing. Ross Brewing will be opening this weekend.
I'm aware of that. I won't be there.
After a fairly long time. And lots of,
Longer, even longer than us.
like 3 times longer than us. But a lot of people were betting on us being open before them, but
It's true.
no, they're good friends of ours. I actually went to Ross and helped them with their first official brew day for opening.
Very nice.
So this is their Year 2 anniversary ale. It's a Belgian stout that's aged in a bourbon barrel. And basically, what I told them, since it's a Belgian chocolate stout, they wanted to do something with a flavoring. I actually recommended that they do something like a German chocolate cupcake. So they decided to add more chocolate, aka coconuts, vanilla, toasted coconut, and sweet cherries to it. So I told them that, and they said, that's a terrible idea. We won't do it. And then 6 months later, they did it.
They did it.
But I still love those guys, and I'm excited to actually try this because I had their Year 1 anniversary, which I had a couple of hands in, and that was a delicious beer. And I think they're going to make another really delicious stout. And I wish them luck, and I'm excited to go there later this week and support them, and hopefully they have a nice smooth opening and start kicking butt and taking names and serving beer out of their place. That's
Absolutely.
what we hope to do sooner than later. But let's crack this open.
I'm gonna go hunt down a glass.
Oh no! Oh
What?
god!
It's spout.
It's corked under the cap.
Oh,
Is it really?
I don't have a way to open this.
We don't have a
I'm
couple.
not lying. Look, I totally forgot. Yeah, John over engineers everything. So, all right. So it's yeah. I didn't bring a corkscrew with me. All right, never mind. We're gonna have a session IPA instead, guys. Crap. Oh well. That was pretty anticlimactic. But anyway, big shout out to Ross. Congrats. Hopefully they have a great opening weekend. We either John or I are going to visit them in the next 2 nights, as they have little pre-party opening events. And no, they're good buddies of ours, and they also happen to have brewed at Bolero for their contract brew. So
It's like family.
yeah, we're all a big extended family, and I've done a couple beer recipes with them and helped them brew a little bit. And no, but obviously most people who watch this are probably in New Jersey or not. But if you're in New Jersey, look up Ross. They're in what is it, Monmouth Beach,
Monmouth Beach.
Fort Monmouth, kind of by the Belford area. They will be open this weekend. So Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend, they will be open and serving their beer.
All yours.
Anyway, all right. In lieu of that, we're going to go back to Northway, which is right down the road here, which is the place we were at for a couple hours today, and it was amazing. And this is Sunrise Session IPA, which is one of their flagships, and I'm pretty excited to try it. So, anyway, all right. Where we go? We go top 3.
That's pretty. Actually got a nice nose on it.
Yeah, I poured that like crazy. It's all hand. We'll get there. It'll settle.
So, oh, that is nice. I do like that. That's very
So
nice.
they're making what? They're making what? 50 barrels of this?
They're doing 100 barrels of this.
This is a session IPA. They're doing 100 barrels of this at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I mean, we're doing 30 barrels at a time, and I think that's a butt ton of beer.
I know.
That's nuts. And this is an IPA, so the session IPA. That means they got to move it quick. So if I had it, well, I have a hat, but it's over here.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Hats off to Northway because damn, that is a lot of beer to move in.
That's a lot of beer to move. Yep.
Yeah. So
what are you drinking there, Samurai?
Well, since you guys couldn't do an anniversary ale, I decided to open up
oh, there you go.
Ethos's 5th anniversary.
Were you just there?
It's just there.
Yeah.
It's not the 5th anniversary of me being there. I just was there.
What kind of beer is it?
This is a barrel-aged imperial stout. It's a blend of a bunch of different imperial stouts. And so Utah,
Is it
we
a
all
bunch
know.
of, wait, is it a blend of different imperial stouts that is then put in a barrel?
Yes,
Or is it a blend of a different barrel-aged stouts?
blend of stouts, then aged in the bourbon barrel.
Got it.
So rumor has it that this is the sticker wall at
Kitos.
Ketos. So there's a coastal sticker and a beer samurai sticker.
And I hear the brewery that you were at got the same
There
treatment.
may or may not be a beer samurai sticker on the wall in Northwest.
No, there is.
Now wait, no. Pan left. So that way. Who's there first? That was on the wall when we walked in.
Oh boy, Icarus got there first, huh?
So then we put Coastal in the beer samurai. I mean, it just kind of fit organically though.
Next to Jason, like it.
It was an old movie theater, so it's actually cool. You could walk up to this like mezzanine balcony area where I guess they used
Which
to,
clearly was the balcony
So
or
you said
where the projectors.
but you could see over the whole brewery floor. So that was kind of cool.
The tap room is where the
Foyer
concessions were.
Yeah,
You
concession.
know, the foyer where the
Gotcha.
concessions were and everything else, and in the back is the whole production area. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Very nice. Very nice.
Mhm.
Oh, this one we as we were leaving, they're getting ramped up to start a pinball tournament. They got about 10 pinball machines against the back wall.
There you go.
Oh, they were doing darts in the one brewery we went to tonight. They were pretty. You could tell right away. We walked in and we looked at some of those dudes. I was like, no, we are not playing darts with these.
No,
guys. They are,
no. They had that was Mean Max Brewing.
They are serious.
They were serious about their darts. We went to get something to eat, and they invited us back. He says,
That's a
come back here. We'll be
beautiful
closed, but you can come back.
That's a
Well,
session
yeah.
beer with that creamy, beautiful head right there.
That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful pour.
I'm mad at it.
There you go.
Good flavor. 5%.
There you go.
I'm all about that.
So Dave, I got to ask you really quick. How odd is it that I'm on the podcast and right here is Matt?
It's not odd at all because you're sharing a hotel room. No rumors, please.
No.
No, that haven't.
Wait. There are two separate beds. Just
Two beds.
just
Mm.
Just
Only
so you're
one of them
aware.
seems to be unmade.
No, they're both not they're both unmade.
Okay, bouncing around. I got you.
Gotcha. Anyway,
Just in
but
case
anyway.
John has any fantasies of being a little spoon, it's not happening.
it's not happening. And
So,
and those of you that know me know that I've never been a little spoon. So
he's been a little something else here and there, but
true, very true. Spoon, no.
but more about this beer and this brewery. Most people who think about drinking in Utah, the first thing they think erroneously is that there is no beer in Utah, and there absolutely is beer. The next thing they think is that there's no beer above 5% in Utah. That's
That was
also
me.
quite untrue. Uinta was one of the first, I think, to go over the 5% threshold.
You into beer?
Hmm?
You into beer?
Yeah, I'm into beer. You into beer? And then, and this one, Ketos, they definitely pushed the threshold as well. This one's 15.5%. I don't know if you can see that.
You're drinking a 15.5% beer right now?
Yeah.
You're going to be passed
Wow.
out before we are.
Exactly.
Oh no, I'll definitely be, because you got to remember.
Yeah.
I've been
So,
real.
Well, you're still on East Coast time with us, so
Yes, I'm
yeah,
still.
there's that. So yeah, God bless
it
you.
may only be a quarter to 10 out there, but you're still, for you, it's a quarter to 12. So
Yes, it is. So I actually need this to get to sleep, because we're getting up quasi early in the morning.
I love getting up quasi early.
Quasi
No, I
early,
mean,
and heading off to Moab tomorrow.
nice.
Oh yeah, nice, very nice.
Are
Two
you renting
breweries in
Jeeps?
Moab.
Wait, where are you going?
Moab.
Are you renting a
Moab?
Jeep?
I thought you said Moat.
Are you
No.
renting a
I thought you were
Jeep?
going to see Zeke Moat.
Are you renting a Jeep?
No, we are not.
I don't want to hear another word about Moab. Then forget it.
All right.
It's dead to me.
Be a judgmental prick. I go by
There's literally
foot.
a Jeep named the Jeep Moab. Like if you're gonna do Moab, you got to do it in a Jeep.
I'm doing a Jeep, yeah.
Yeah, there's also a Jeep Patriot. There's a Jeep. You don't know. There's also
that's not really a Jeep, but I'd still forgive you for it.
there's a Kia Sedona. That doesn't mean that you have to drive a Kia when you go to Sedona.
There's also a Jeep.
Well, yeah, but a Kia Sedona wasn't like bred in battle, and its theme isn't trail rated and all that other shit. So like your apples and pineapples right now.
Right.
So
There's also a Jeep cost money.
Yeah,
Sorry, Cherokee.
yeah, that's his problem. You got the wrong Jeep. That's your problem. I'm talking about a real Jeep, like a Wrangler.
I know.
Sorry, a Wrangler is when you say Jeep singular, that means Wrangler. If you say anything else, it has to be Jeep Cherokee, Jeep Grand Cherokee, Jeep Patriot. There has to be two parts to it. If you just say Jeep,
It means it's a Wrangler. Yeah.
It means the real thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Dave, I'm sure is well versed in the history of the JP, aka the Jeep.
The Willies.
Yes.
It gives me the willies when I think about it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
The general purpose vehicle.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
We saw an FJ Cruiser today that was pretty hot, but I mean, you know what FJ stands for?
Fucking jerk.
No, fake Jeep.
Oh.
Same shit, but yeah, it means the same thing. But FJ Cruiser.
Neither of you said "fuck John." Neither of you did. So.
I thought it, but I wasn't going to say it.
Nah, I didn't think it.
Hey, at least you said it. But
Anyway. In any event, all right.
All right, we going top three?
Let's do a top three
Let's
list.
do top three.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, tonight's top three list. Well, we'll put it up there and you'll see what it is. So tonight's top three list. We figured, there's a lot of stuff going on in the craft beer industry right now. There's a lot of new styles that are old styles coming out. People are rediscovering them and everything else. And seasonality is amongst drinking craft beer and everything else. So we figured tonight we're going to do top three current favorite styles of beer. Clearly with an asterisk subject to change, right? So,
Yeah.
the top three current favorite styles of beer. So,
I'm going to start because
have that.
yeah. I mean, the first one I just have to go with. Well, again, what I'm based off what I've been drinking recently. It's a classic barrel aged stout. I don't think that'll ever go out of style.
No.
I think and again, I don't care how warm it is or cold it is. Obviously, you want it when it ges colder. You want to drink heartier beers. I don't care. I still drink barrel aged stouts in the summer or barrel aged stouts. Barrel aged stouts not going anywhere. But my next two styles are going to be a little bit more current or a little bit more relevant. My second style is New Zealand Pilsner, and we have that somewhere between that cold IPA to dry hop Pilsner matrix of what people are brewing right now. But you're basically making a very light, easy drinking beer, but you dry hop it with some fairly juicy, whatever New Zealand hops. And it's just a great combo. You don't have to aggressively hop it to the level of an IPA. But because it's such a light style, you get a beautiful amount of flavor out of it. And, some of those New Zealand hops have a lot of character and a lot of, flavor to them. And it's just a great showcase for them. And then my number one style that I've been drinking the hell out of is like the first beer we had tonight. It's a black lager Schwarz beer, German Schwarz beer. And I do the Tavor thing. I get a bunch of beers in a box. I hate to say it. I've been grabbing every Schwarz beer I possibly can from Tavor for months. From just because I can have a Schwarz beer from places across the country I probably won't be close to visiting anytime soon, if ever. But again, I love Guinness. When I was starting to get into drinking craft beer, I drank Guinness. A German Schwarz beer has that nice combination of the nice roast flavor profile with really easy drinking finish, and it's just a great beer. And I've had a couple recently that were even adjuncted Schwarz beers. I'm a little on the fence about those. I almost would rather just have a traditional Schwarz beer. I will say that the coffee Schwarz beer that we drank earlier tonight on the podcast was probably one of the best adjuncted Schwarz beers I've had, because that one, the Paralysis from Northway Brewing, they went very light with the coffee. They didn't overpower the base beer. They just added to it, and that's the problem. Is even though it's a dark beer, it's a lighter style, and if you just go balls to the wall with the adjuncts, you're just going to obliterate and overcome the actual beer. It's just going to be all adjunct. I like still having that beer as that style of beer with a little bit of flavor, and they did it right. They did it right. It was just a nice little coffee note on the finish. Light, didn't overtake the beer, so good job for those guys. Anyway.
There you go. All right, I'm going to jump in. Dave, you got three, or you want me to jump
I'm
in
still
there?
thinking. Go ahead, Noah.
All right. I'll throw my three out there. Number three, there's been, a lot of the breweries I've gone to lately, and over the last several months, actually, they all seem to be coming out releasing a cream ale, and that's a throwback style that I've been like, I've seen that on the menu and I'm ordering it, so I'm having one of those. And
Ketos had 2 on tap.
there you go. And also, my number two. Now we're coming out of winter, right? I mean, it's been spring for what, 3 weeks now, 3 weeks. But some winter beers are still on. It's a little bit heavier, if you will. Generally, people don't brown ale. Generally, people don't brew brown ales in July, right? So if you're drinking one in April, they obviously brewed in November, December, or whatever. So, but me and brown ales, I'm like a big, huge brown ale whore, and it's a style that I've been gravitating to because there's still a few of them left that breweries are trying to get through, right? They want to get rid of them. They want to move them out. So I've been drinking them. I had 3 today. At
least, yeah.
At least, right? Yeah. And my number one, not to anybody's shock, right, would be dark lager. But I'm going to say it like this. Now, obviously, everybody knows that, at least people that have been watching the show for a while know I'm a Schwarz beer whore. But specifically dark lagers, I haven't had, other than if I order a black lager, or there's never been a lot that have been branded as Schwarz beers. They've been dark Czech lagers or just dark lagers at that point. And as Matt said to his point before, they're definitely the lighter beers. Schwarz beer, with the black lager, is just a little bit more. It's still a lighter beer. There's still a little bit more roast in it than a dark Czech lager. And I've been gravitating more right now, lately, or whatever, to the dark lagers.
Well, the Czech lager should have a higher hop,
a little bit higher hop
contribution.
content.
So,
right, so there's a little less roast in it. It's a little bit lighter with that. So I've been gravitating to that. So those are my three.
It depends on how you want it. If you want they're both like lightly bitter in a way, but one is more from the malt profile, one is from the hops.
Right.
So it depends on how you like your flavor profile. Sure.
Yeah. So those are my three.
And don't get me wrong, I love them both. They're both delicious. So.
Sure. Of course, I do too. But lately,
a lot more dark lagers from dark to black.
I'm right with you.
Not hopped. Bring them on.
I'm right with you. But my three tonight for this particular list: 3 cream ale, 2 brown ale, 1 dark lager, dark Czech lager. Samurai?
Drum roll. Dave?
Well, I'm going to do pretty much agree with both of you with one exception. My number 3 is very close to Matt's number 3. I love my barrel-aged stouts. It's
a classic. It's not going
Not very
away.
close to Matt's. It is Matt's.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Actually, it's Matt's. Yeah, the barrel-aged stouts, like Matt said, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. When it was first done,
Sure, I don't care. I'm still drinking them.
yep,
You have it on. I'm
yeah.
drinking it.
It could be 90 degrees out. I'm still going to drink one.
Still gonna have it.
Number 2 to me is a Czech lager.
Dark, light, anything?
Czech light lager, number 2. And we will go with Czech light lager because my number 1 is now agreeing with John. Tmave Pivo, currently number 1 style.
There you go. Awesome.
Absolutely love them. I like that little bit of Saz to balance out with the that roast.
Well, I mean, all right. So to me, the best way to describe it is for someone if you've never had a Tmave Pivo, a dark Czech lager, it's imagine a lighter German Bock with that nice dark malt flavor, but then hopped like a Czech, Pilsner with a lot of floral sauce and bitterness to balance it out, and it's a symphony of malt and hops. But still unlike a big, like say a black IPA, which is a symphony of malt and hops, but like turned up to 11.
Right.
This is like a symphony of malt and hops, but still really light and approachable, and the drinkability is amazing.
Yeah.
So to me, it's almost
sometimes these go to 11.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And I totally agree with Dave. I mean, that's a great style that packs a lot of flavor and still a very easy drinking, approachable package. And that's why it's a great style.
You can get all that flavor and drink a whole bunch of them.
I would say as an honorable mention, that's something that nobody has said, but it's very similar to my number 2 is the cold IPA, style, which is, again, it's you're now making a beer that's very light and drinkable like a lager, but you're dry hopping it and, making a lot of hop flavor. So, cold, I feel like cold IPAs have been on a big rise in the last, maybe year and a half. And it's a great style, but whether you call it a dry hop pills or a cold IPA or anything in that spectrum, that's a lot. That's a style that I personally love, and I hope it keeps going on the upswing because, again, it's one of these beers that pack a lot of flavor but have a huge amount of drinkability. And I think drinkability is on the rise. I think a lot of people are moving more towards lagers or lagerish beer, and they want to have some kind of level of drinkability. And I mean, Dave, you love both. We all know that's your thing.
That's my jam.
And I think that's
with no offense,
that's a beer that has a good combination of both flavor and drinkability. So it's I feel like the consumers are moving to that. If you're not drinking a bourbon barrel aged stout or something excessive, I feel like the everyday drinking thing is these cold IPAs / dry hop pilsners are like starting to really be on the uprise.
Yeah, sure. All right.
For me, it's bedtime.
Yeah, we're right there with you.
We're fading, yeah. So I mean,
you're a couple thousand miles away. No, you're not right here with me.
It's 2 minutes to midnight.
You're right there with each other.
Yeah, we're 2 minutes to midnight. So I think it's probably a good idea if we say goodnight at this point.
Yes.
So, all right, Dave, stay on for a second. We'll wrap up the show at this point. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROM.com. And please remember.
And we still apologize for this artwork. Sorry.
We do apologize for the artwork.
Not my fault. It was just here.
There you go. So I'm gonna mute you, Matt, for just a second. So I'll finish the reading there. So anyway, Want to thank everyone for watching, and those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lageroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Usually, tonight was a very, very, very big exception. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And please remember, like us and follow us on one or more of those social media services, obviously. Platforms, thank you. And you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. Don't forget to, if you're in New Jersey and listening to this, don't forget to, at some point this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're open on Friday. Visit Ross Brewing down in Port Monmouth, New Jersey. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care.
And next week, it'll be interesting to see where I am.
And next week, Dave is going to be somewhere in, I want to say, it's not the West or the Midwest. It's the Midwest.
I'll be
The West Midwest.
somewhere not too far from either Zion or Bryce. We'll see.
There you go. So
And
I
still won't have a Jeep, Matt. So
Kit, will you drink a mid-coast IPA though?
There you go.
if I could find a good one.
There you go. All right, folks.
Oh, yes.
Have a good one, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.